We can have a conversation.
All right, bet. Gene about to put y'all on some game, y'all. Out of respect, we're gonna keep the camera turned this way. He busy, he working. So we got the, a lot of people promote the reefer trucks. But what Gene was saying is that a non-CDL reefer truck can actually only haul like 6,000 to 7,000 pounds. So we wanted to put y'all on that game. Could you tell me, could you let me know everything you were saying?
So the reefer, a non-CDL 26-foot refrigerated truck, the actual weight of the truck is heavier than a traditional box truck, non-reefer box truck, or just a regular box truck. And when you're dealing with non-CDLs, your maximum weight, your total weight is 26,000 pounds. It has to be under 26,000 pounds. So your average weight of your 26-foot box truck without a reefer is going to weigh roughly right around 13,000 pounds ish. So you're going to be able to get 5-6 ton of actual cargo in there and still be under the legal weight of 26,000 pounds, because your truck weighs roughly 13,000 pounds with the box on it and the lift gate and the fuel tanks and the driver. When you get to your 26,000, that's everything included to get you that way. Your fuel, everything has to be under 26,000. Since your traditional box truck of 26 foot weighs less than a reefer, you can haul more payload. You can haul more payload on a dry van box compared to a reefer. So you got to be careful if you're thinking that you can just get a reefer truck and haul dry freight in it. You're limiting yourself, because actually the reefer box is actually, the dimensions inside the box is smaller than the general freight box truck, because the walls are thicker to keep the inside of the refrigerant cool. So you're going to lose space in that. You're going to lose space because the floors are thicker too, and the roof is thicker. So you're shortening the dimensions of where you can put the freight in, and the truck weighs more. A reefer truck compared to a box truck, the reefer truck probably weighs 18,000 pounds. With the reefer, the lift gate, the fuel, everything else you would come along with that. The box is heavier because it's insulated box. So you're going to lose the ability to haul that weight. Even if you say, hey, no, I'll just use my reefer and take general freight, you still will lose out on the amount of pallets and weight you can haul because the truck is heavier.
So basically what you're saying, for non-CDL, that reefer's not worth it. You only can haul about like 5,000-6,000 pounds. You only basically have like 80 by 80 after,
the dimensions.
The dimensions. It takes diesel.
Yep.
Sounds like claims as well, if the reefer goes out on you. So basically for non-CDL, sounds like reefer isn't worth it.
Reefer is not worth it if you're going to try LTF. You're just going to go bore. If you're going to go get on the low boards and this and that and the other, because the reefer usually that freight is contracted out, because when you think about refrigerator stuff, they're on a real time crunch, because the stuff has to be a certain temperature. It can only be a certain time frame to be on the truck. And then every so often, if you get a reefer truck and you want to have freight for, say, 15 hours, you got to have a chart that you tested that temperature of whatever you're calling every hour to make sure it. And there's a chart that you get when you're hauling reefer freight, that you got to take the temperature of, hey, I tested it at 1:30 and it was the right temperature. I tested it at 3:30 and it was the right temperature. I tested it at 5:30 and it was the right temperature. Because as you're delivering it to whoever you're going to, they're going to see, hey, did this product keep the way it's supposed to? And you're signing off that it kept that time. So it's a lot more. There's a lot more pressure and detail on there. And then when you're doing that in a refrigerated stuff, everything has to be where you can get when you're hauling on a board, you can get 5 different loads from 5 different things going sort of the same way, parcels.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna be doing that with refrigerant because whatever load you got is at a certain temperature. So if you get another truck, if you need something else, it got to be at that same temperature, at that same. So what's the odds of you finding partials that all have the same temperature and all have the same space that'll fit with you pallet wise? The setup is all the same from different, locations going the same route, and it's all going to be light because you don't even have the weight that you would be able to haul it with.
So reefers are good for like contractor work.
If you have a contractor work, because you already know what you're doing. Hey, I'm taking this to you. And the good part of contractor work with reefer is that they pay you more because you may not be, there's not always a backhaul. So they need this freight to get there on time and on schedule. They want this product there at a certain time. But they're going to usually pay a round trip thing. Like if you're going to take it here, because they know you're like, a lot of times you can't deadhead back because you might have your reefer set for a certain temperature, and now they know that's the only thing you can call. So they might pay you more, but usually that's done on every Tuesday and Thursday, every other day, or every Monday, Tuesday. You mean like it's a contracted thing because whatever you're delivering that's refrigerant has a keep life. So they're going to want to get rid of that, sell it, cook it, whatever it is, and re-up because it just keeps the process keeps repeating itself. So the contracts are the way to go because it's consistent. They already know that you're not going to be able to haul big stuff because that's just the way light duty reefer trucks are.
So it's worth it, but then again, you're still limited in a reefer box truck.
Because you're only going to be able to get a contract.
They might have some cold stuff that weighs 10,000 pounds. And
your trucks can't haul that.
So it's worth it with a CDL.
With a CDL, it's going to be worth it because your weight, the more weight, and they're paying you based off of your, you know how it is. They're paying you based off the pallets. The more stuff you bring them, the more stuff you make. It's not if you're only getting one pallet, that's going to be, if you're only getting a partial, that's what they're going to pay you as a partial.
Right.
And there's no alternative things for reefers. If you do a reefer, you're going to be limited on getting partials.
Okay.
That's a lot of you gotta already have a game plan. If you are already working for someone, you know the reefer, you know the game plan. You gotta have the blueprint and know how to get into it. You can't buy a reefer and then figure out, now I gotta look to see who needs reefers.
Yeah, me personally, I never. I had a blueprint with it, but it just didn't make sense, and also like the claims.
Yes.
That reefer goes out. That's a claim.
100%. That's like that temperature.
That's why I never did it because like reefers, they usually do like $2.50 to $3 a mile. I could just do that in the dry van, partialing up. So I just
and you ain't got to worry about the freight expiring and this and that. It is a very niche process. It's very niche.
And then also it costs more money too. So you
100%
might get
$2
50 cents a mile, maybe $3 a mile, maybe a little bit more, but you also got to pay for that diesel. And
it's a heavier truck, so it's gonna burn more fuel.
Yeah. And then if you have a driver, you can pay a non-CDL driver less than paying a CDL driver. You got to pay them more.
100% because they feel like they're, rightfully so, they are more accomplished driver. You're getting a more qualified driver, and he's limited. There's a limited amount of people who can drive that CDL truck as opposed to anyone with a driver's license and a DOT card can drive the non-CDL.
Yeah, a lot of people, think that it's a lot of money in non-CDL reefers, and once you say that, I'm like, Gene trying to put them on that game because I knew it wasn't a lot of money in the non-CDL reefers, but I didn't have the words for it. The theory of it, yeah, you can, but
it makes you think that there is, but there isn't a generic lot of. If you have some niche specific contract that you can work through and have that truck assigned to them for this, then you can make money off that. But going to look for people who are looking on a board for freight that they already can keep cold, like it's already time sensitive when they got it. So they can't really wait to see if someone's available to take it. They already got to have that set up because they're trying to get it out of their hands. So there's not a lot of like load board stuff for reefers because it's already spoiling, so to speak. It's already expiring before they even put it on there. So they ain't waiting for nobody. They got to have that. Like by 10 o'clock, somebody got to be in it. They know that the day before. That's another
thing. Like reefer. Like when we're booking loads, we might have the reefer search on because they might have like a filter where it says van reefer.
Mm-hmm.
You might have that on, and I'll see all the reefer loads, and it's not many.
No, there ain't.
That's definitely a contract.
There's a contractor thing because most of the reefer loads need to be cool. Mm-hmm. They're not like certain temperature. They're not necessarily real perishable stuff. They need to be like not over. They can't get hot. Like there's stuff that it can't go over 50 degrees. So that type of stuff they can put on there because it can, as long as it don't go over 50, that stuff will keep more. But something that needs to be under 30 degrees or under 40 degrees, that is more time. They want to get that in and out because there's a chain of command of every time a perishable item touches from you to me, from you to the next person, from next person to the next person, everybody has a chart of how long it got there. And wherever it ends up, it has to make sense that everybody did what they were supposed to do down that line, or they're not going to accept the product. If there's any hiccup from when it left A and got to C, if there's any hiccup in the paperwork or the timing don't add up, they'll say we're not accepting this because I can't now sign up to buy to accept this and now sell it or make food or whatever after it without having confirmation that this is all lined up every single time. And there's a lot of pressure on people the whole time that is to get it to you or I to eat or consume in whatever way we do.
Right. That's why I'm getting my good old 44,000 miles.
So this is your paperwork here. I don't want to rush. In the morning, I have your title filled out. I'll give you that in the morning.
Okay.
I'll give you the title in the morning when we come back to pick it up because I don't want to rush to. You know what I mean? That's your that's just you. That's the breakdown on it. You have that too, and I'll give you a folder.
I appreciate it. That's why I learned the first time I purchased. I'm gonna purchase a truck with no lift gate. Put a lift gate on it. Might cost $6,000, but it'll make me back at least
100%. It'll make you back because now the truck is now you got a 44,000 mile truck with a lift gate. That, and God forbid, if you wanted to sell it
at 200,000 miles, still could get 30 for it.
100%.
So
because now the truck is spec'd out in the way that your industry would love it, introduce it. Has a lift gate. A lift gate and low miles.
Right. Versus most, just when they buy a truck for 30,000-40,000 miles, 200,000.
100%.
200,000 miles for $30,000-$40,000. I know you got plenty of them out there.
I got plenty of them out here, yeah. and those trucks are good trucks too.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not a 44,000 mile truck like you have.
Right. Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing now.
Know what you're doing, absolutely.
I know how to put it together. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm put my lift gate on, $4,000-$5,000. But I appreciate you, Jimmy.
All right,
Thank
I'll see you in the morning. Call me when you're on your way and